What's going on today, guys? Welcome back to the Bet Leveling Show. I'm Alan. I'll be hosting the NBA slate for today's videos, and hopefully you guys have been cashing out and watching and tailing this man Garrett's videos. He's been on a complete tear, going up about $600, over 20 plus units in the past 3 days off college basketball alone. If you guys have not been tailing him, I have no idea what you're doing. If you're not joining the Discord, completely free, by the way. I have no idea what you're doing. If you guys are not tailing me on the NBA slips, I have no idea what you're doing. We are all cashing. I posted one play yesterday in the Discord, and it cashed. 8.5x PrizePicks play. Build it on any app. Doesn't matter. We still cash, and I'll show you guys here that in a bit. But we do have a really good slate for you guys today. It was a massive slate yesterday. Didn't get a chance to get a video out, but that's okay. We still got to play out. Still cashed out on some college basketball, and we're still getting the train rolling here. So if you guys, like I said, want more insights, more plays, more picks, and everything, go ahead and join us in the Discord. Go ahead and follow me on X as well at Live to Amuse, and let's continue to cash out and build the community up here. So let's dive deep into the video. All right, so I don't want to hold you guys up too much, but let's look at the recap from yesterday. I only posted one play, with getting back to work and a lot of the holidays being over, time's slowing down a bit, but we're still getting things out and we're still cashing. We're still making things happen. So as you guys can see, only got one play out and it cashed. We had VJ Edgecombe over 24.5 PRA. That man had 22 points himself. Went on complete tear. We had Zubac to get over 10.5 rebounds and he got 11. Keontae George to go over 24.5 points and assists. Shea to go over 24.5 points. And that game went into overtime. Both of them, both Keontae and Shea, were going on a complete tear. They literally hit that before OT. So that was a great cash. And then Victor Wembanyama, 8 rebounds. He cashed that in the second quarter. Man, it is great to have a quick, free, lovely, easy cash on the day. So we did have a great day yesterday. Only, like I said, only posted one play. But again, if you are in the Discord and you tailed Garrett, you also went up money. Breaking the records, breaking the books. We're doing our thing. So make sure you guys are joining the Discord. All the plays, insights, and more are all in there. Now, let's dive deep into the not the player props, but the NBA slate. Mine as well, right? I mean, we have some good games here. And to be honest with you, I actually like smaller slates. To be completely honest, I actually do better on smaller slates. I did a analysis the other day, and I checked out the days that I actually cashed the most, and it's anywhere between Thursday, Friday, Saturday are my best cashing days. So hopefully we cash out today. I get you guys a good cash out, but typically on a long term. Now, is it going to happen every time? Couldn't tell you. Probably not. But like long term and looking at the pattern recognition and data, it looks like those are usually my best days. So let's see what we can do today. Let's jump into the NBA slate. We have the Indiana Pacers going against Charlotte. Charlotte is on a back-to-back, but they are back-to-back at home, losing to a game winner from I think it was Emmanuel Quickly that hit that game winner in Charlotte at the buzzer. Man, I know that hurt. I know that hurt a lot of people, especially the home team here. We're starting to believe in our teams, Panthers, Charlotte. I mean, a lot of the fan base in Charlotte's starting to feel something for all their sports. Now, we just need to make a couple moves, on both sides, football and basketball. But we are starting to ramp up some good fan base, strong fan base, with nice belief here. So hopefully Charlotte can get it together a little bit more, and we'll see what happens. Now, let's look at everything. So we have the Indiana Pacers versus Charlotte. Charlotte sitting at minus 150 on the odds. And then Indiana Pacers at plus 145. Spread is sitting at plus 4. Minus 3.5 is the spread. And then we have the over-under sitting at 233.5. Now, if you guys look at this, majority of the public is on Charlotte to win the game. I don't hate that. Pacers have lost 13 in a row. But at the same time, with the regression kind of mindset that we have as of late, Pacers are a little due to make at least a win. They've actually been keeping games fairly close. They beat or were very close to beating the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland. So those are things to look at. They played Orlando. It was kind of close. They kept it under 10. San Antonio Spurs kept it at 10. Played Magic again, kept it. They only lost by 2. Pacers are pretty much due for a win here. And so, I'm not against Charlotte winning. I actually do think Charlotte could win. But honestly, I think this is a spot where Pacers could squeeze out a win here. It's unfortunate too because the Charlotte Hornets just lost last night, and to lose again would hurt the fans. I know it would. So I'm not hoping that the Charlotte Hornets win, but if I look at data and I'm looking at spread, looking at everything here, Pacers could squeeze by. So my favorite play, honestly, would probably be for Indiana to cover. That would be my favorite play, maybe plus 4.5, 5.5, just for them to cover. And the public's on it too, 70%. So what the public's on is pretty much what I think is going to happen here. Now, the one thing I will say is I am 100% with the public as well. With the 90%, 98% of the public is on the under, so am I. The reason why is because Charlotte Hornets against bottom 10 defenses in the entire NBA has always, I think it was 8 out of 9 games have gone under. 8 out of 9 times gone under. So I'm with the public. We're going under on this game. I'm just agreeing with the public all in all. I think we are on to something here. And, we'll keep it moving here. So next game we have is Miami versus Chicago. Chicago being at home. Chicago is the underdogs here, plus 220. Miami's the favorites. Tyler Hero, I believe, is coming back. The spread's sitting at plus 7.5. Over-under sitting at 241.5. So pretty high-scoring game. Probably, I haven't checked out the rest of the slate, but probably the highest of the night. Chicago tends to be high-paced. Miami's been high-paced as of late as well. So we should get some great player props here in this game, in my opinion. But just looking at everything here, if you guys look, I know it's a little bit harder to see, but you can tell where like 51%, 66%. So majority, it's 50-50. You have half people picking the Chicago money line, and I don't hate that. Chicago has been upsetting a couple people. They've also played, the Hornets, Boston, and Detroit the last 3 games. But they won 2 before that. They won against Orlando. They won against the Pelicans. And they've also beat teams that were unexpected to win against. So this could be a good game where they could upset. I don't hate that at all, in my opinion. And Miami is one of those teams that sometimes can have a bad game, especially being away. So I don't hate this at all. My favorite play, honestly, would be a plus 7.5 for the Chicago Bulls. That's probably my absolute favorite play. But I would recommend a little bit, maybe sprinkling on the Chicago, maybe one half a unit or 1/3 a unit. That's probably what I would sprinkle on when it comes down to this. But as you guys can see, this whole thing is 50%. 50% of the money is on Miami. 50% is on Miami to cover over the spread, for them to win by 8 or more. And then the over-under total is pretty even as well. It is high scoring. 241.5 is pretty high. So, I think I'm with the public. Maybe go under on this game. But my favorite play, honestly, would be that plus 7.5 in Chicago's favor. I think they can keep that under 8 points, in my opinion. So next game we have Cleveland versus Minnesota. Cleveland is the away. Minnesota is the home team here. Now, Minnesota is the favorites, minus 135. Cleveland's at plus 130. The spread sitting at plus 3.5. The over-under is another 241.5. So we got another pretty high-scoring game. That's like both teams scoring 120 each or so. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And as you guys can see, majority of the money is on Cleveland to win this game. And with them being plus money, that's something to look out, right? Because that's going to be a big payout if they win. So just something to keep in mind. Not saying it's possible, not saying it's going to happen. It happens all the time. But it is also something to keep in mind. Now, we got the spread. Majority of the public is on the spread. As you guys can see, 76% of the people think that Cleveland's going to cover. And that makes sense. If they think they're going to win, they think they're going to cover, they're probably doubling down on that aspect there. And then we have the majority of people on the under, which kind of makes sense as well. But I do think this is a pretty high-scoring team on both sides. You have Donovan Mitchell that can literally turn on a shooting spree in 6 minutes, 7 minutes. He can score 15, 20 at any time. Same thing with Anthony Edwards. I think he scored 14 points in the first quarter last time he played. So these teams, they got players that can just turn scoring on like it's a switch. So these are things to keep in mind. I don't hate the 241.5. I would take the game to go over, but I probably alternate it. You guys know me by now, if you guys have been watching the videos, that I like to do alternates here. So I'd probably just take like 239.5. I think both teams can score about 120 each. And then obviously one team to score a little bit more. I don't hate that. I think this is going to be a pretty good scoring game. I think it'll be back and forth. And just looking at both teams, these are both teams that are 4 out of 5 in their last 5 games. I think it's just going to be back and forth punches. I don't know if you guys saw that NHL fight, but it's going to probably remind me of this, but, in this sport here. So, and if you look at it as well, I also, looking at it here, Cleveland, I don't know. I feel like Cleveland is one of those teams that can, when they play a fairly good team, they don't perform as well as expected. I see them blowing out teams like Washington or Indiana, but when it comes down to like a Minnesota, Anthony Edwards, great defense, Julius Randle, Naz Reid, things of that nature, I just feel like they struggle a bit. And I could be wrong, 100%. The public could 100% win here, but these are things I look at and try to make sure I'm cautious. And again, Vegas got to make money somehow, and so as you can see, majority of the people on Cleveland, it's just something to ask questions. So my favorite play, honestly, would be Minnesota money line here, be it them being at home. Anthony Edwards, Naz Reid, Julius Randle, they're all looking great right now, and I think they're gaining momentum. And Cleveland have been a little bit off and on. Like they have Donovan Mitchell scoring like crazy, Darius Garland going off as well, but they still are finding L's. I mean, they are 4-5 out of their last game. I get it, but if you're watching the games, they just don't look as dominant as they were last year. That's just what I'll say about that. But let's jump into the next game here. We got the Dallas Mavericks going against Utah Jazz. Majority of the public is on Utah here, which is crazy because they are the underdogs. They're plus 200 underdogs. Dallas are the favorites, and the spread is sitting at a -7 spread, -7.5 depending on the books. And then the over-under another 240.5. Total. So all of these games are going to be high scoring. This is going to be a great day for player props. I hope people cash because it's going to be a great day for player props. High scoring, both teams going back to back. These are great matchups as well. Fairly even matchups. So I think this is going to be a great slate today. Now, if you guys look at it, majority of people are on Utah Jazz to win, and I don't hate that in the slightest. Utah Jazz have not only beat teams that they shouldn't have and have won when they were underdogs, but they are also 0-5 in their last 5 games. And Keontae George had a great game yesterday. They almost beat OKC. They went into overtime, only lost by 4. And so, and they had a lead for a good bit of the game. So I don't hate them winning here. They are at home again. They are the underdogs. This is a place where I would honestly think I'm going to go with the public here and go with Utah Jazz. I do think they squeeze by a win. They are due for a win, and I know Dallas is ramping up. They just beat Houston, which was a massive win. They beat Sacramento, was okay, but I do think Utah Jazz are due for a win here. If anything, I would like to sprinkle on that plus 7.5 spread for Utah to cover. They've usually covered anyways when it comes down to their spread. They've been covering a lot. Because, even though they're underdogs, a lot of people are, downplaying them a bit, but they're stepping up, man. They're stepping up. Now, their number 1 draft pick, that they have, Ace Bailey's not been doing much like the other, draft players have been doing. But the rest of the team, Keontae George, Markkanen, even Isaiah Collier, they're all stepping up in ways, that are showing improvement, man. So I don't hate the Utah Jazz taking away this win tonight, but they also could go on a losing streak like Pacers. So just to be safe, I would say take the plus 7.5 in my opinion. And I do like the over. I like the over. Again, maybe a 239.5. Utah Jazz is a very high scoring team. And if Dallas expects to win, they're going to have to keep up with the pace of scoring. So those are my predictions for these games here. Hopefully we have a great slate. But let me show you guys the player props I have. I'm coming off of a 5-0 sweep. The day before that, when I gave out the plays, we only lost by Luke Cornett, who had 10 RA on the dot. And I was even looking at the props as well. And this man was a 9.5. It was plus money before the game started. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, that under, I got it early, gave it out to the public early, and I thought it was going to cash, and he ended up cashing the Demon Square on PrizePicks, which is a basically plus money square. And he messed his entire slip up. So the last 2 days of giving props, I'm sitting at 9 and 10. Or 9 out of 10, so 9-1. Only lost 1 player prop in the last 2 days. So let's see if we can go for another 5-0 day, and let me show you guys what I got here. All right, so let's dive into the player props here. I got my 5-leg player props without any goblins for you guys. This is going to be a crazy day. So if you do a power play on this, it's 20x. If you do a flex, it's 10. You can even take one of these guys off if you like one of them, don't like them, and try to make it a 10x on a power play and so on and so forth. So I got no goblins plays for you guys here. I got full regular lines, and I think we have a great day today. Now, let's look at it. We have LaMelo Ball going over 21.5 points and rebounds, and I have no idea why I keep picking LaMelo. He has let me down so many times, but I keep going back to him. He's like one of those people that has like I don't know, it's like an abusive relationship, but I keep going back. I don't know what it is. I feel like he's just been a wagon for me last year. I feel like he's just going to ramp up, and yes, I've heard the conversations with Perk talking about, they're going to lower minutes to try to make him not a star, whatever. But he has that. Oh man, I hate that I'm picking it, but when I show you guys the data, it's all there, and then on top of it, it's LaMelo Ball, man. So I can't not do it. We got Naz Reid to go under 16.5 points plus assists, and I have no idea why I keep going under on this man Naz Reid. I had him under 2.5 assists, and the same thing happened like Luke Cornett did the other day. So we're going to keep riding that wave. I just don't think he's going to hit that today, and I'll show you guys why based on the data. Sam Merrill to go over 12.5 points and rebounds. Jaime Jaquez, he is coming back off the injury, so he might be, slow to come back up, but I think this is a good spot for him where he does perform if he gets the minutes. They actually adjusted his line. His line last night was 17.5, and they lowered it to 16.5, and I actually do like this. I don't mind it because I do think with a lot of people might be steering towards Jaime today, they might push it back up to 17 or even 18 even by the time game starts. Hopefully I'm wrong, but we'll see what happens. And then lastly, we have Clay going under 17.5 PRA. I just don't think he's going to step up, and I will show you guys why. Now let's jump into it. First things first, let's go over Sam Merrill. He has an 80% hit rate when it comes down to hitting the points plus rebounds over 12.5. He's hitting the last 3 games. And as you guys can see, based on the data here, he skyrockets. And against a team like Minnesota, of course, it's going to be high scoring, but they don't really have a crazy guard from the point guard position. Excuse me, like a Mike Conley's going to guard him today. So I just think he's in a good spot to perform and to cash this out. His regular line for points is about 9.5. I honestly think he can get 12 himself, and then maybe just a slight little rebound. If he gets 2 or 3 rebounds, he could score 10 points. So I do like this line a lot. It just looked like it matched up with the data. And then as you guys can see, if you look at the back-to-back, he's hit this. It says 50%, but the last time they played was last year. So both of these games was actually last year. And he hit it last time they played and matched up against each other. I know it's different. I know things can be, but I think he actually hits this again, and he has momentum to do so. So that's what I'll be on for today. If you guys don't like it, you can always take it off, try to add something of your own, but will it work out? Who knows? But I do like this personally. Now, looking at LaMelo Ball, he's hit this 70% of the time, over that 21.5. 70% of the time. He even hit it last night with a terrible shooting night. He was 1 from 7 on the 3-point. And does he do that again tonight? I highly doubt it. He's ramping up momentum. They played last night. He has that, he has that dog in him where it's just like, he's going to go 1 for 7, he could shoot 5 threes tomorrow or today and hit at least 2 or 3 of them, which is going to put him at 9 points, help him out a bit. He even had almost a triple-double yesterday. So 7 rebounds. So I think he completes that again and continues to build that momentum off that. And against the Pacers, lowest defensive team in the NBA, I think he has a good spot to hit this line with ease. And if you guys look, the last head-to-head games, he's hit this over and over and over again. He's 100% hit rate for hitting this 21.5 over. So I'm on LaMelo Ball tonight, and we'll see what happens. Now, if you guys look at Klay Thompson, under 17.5 PRA, he's hit this at an 80% clip. He has not gone over, has not been the same old Klay as we have seen. And if you guys even look at the head-to-head, I know it's 1 out of 3, but if you look at the dates here, the time that he went over against Utah was when he's playing with the Golden State Warriors. Ever since he's been playing with the Dallas Mavericks, he has gone under. Last game he played with the Mavericks against Utah, that was last year, and he went under. So I just don't think he's going to hit that over today. I just don't think he's been stepping up in ways that he should. He'll hit threes, he'll do his thing, but 17.5 PRA, as you guys could see before, it's an 80% hit rate. So I'm riding the under for this game. Now, we got Jaquez to hit over that 16.5 points and assists. His main thing to do is assist, in my opinion. And if you guys look at the data, it's assisting. And I think he can get at least, 13, 14 points. So all he really needs is about 3 to 4 assists, which I think he can hit that with ease. As long as he's healthy, as long as he's ready to go. And then Tyler Hero's coming back, which might steer a little bit more, but that's okay for me. I don't think Tyler Hero's going to get as much minutes. I think they're still kind of slowly bringing him back, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens, but I do love this line, 16.5 points and assists. He's hit this at an 80% hit rate. And then if you guys look at the head-to-head as well, he hit it at a 50% clip. But again, look at the dates as well. Last time he matched up with Chicago, he went that over. I know it was barely over, but he still hit the over. So I'm still riding that. If you guys want to buy it down a little bit, maybe do a goblet, maybe do a points plus assists at 15. I don't hate that at all either. So that's something to look at as well. And lastly, we have Naz Reid under 16.5 points and assists. I hope this doesn't bite me in the butt because it did before, where I had under 2.5 assists, and this man had 3 assists out of nowhere. I think he got the last assist in the fourth quarter. Blew my mind. He has not even hit that. He was 100%. Never hit that ever against the team, and he went over on that game. So it is what it is, but we're going to go back to hitting the under. 70% hit rate, as you guys can see, and if you guys look at the head-to-head, he's 50%. Last time he matched up with them, he went under as well. So that's what I'll be looking at. When it comes down to it as well, it's just one of those things where anything can happen. But with the momentum that we do have, I do think this is a good spot for all these players to step up. It's going to be high-scoring totals. It's going to be high-scoring teams. Everyone's going to be doing their thing, and I really like this play. 20x if you want to be a little bit ballsy for 20x. If you want to do a power play, which means all of these cash. If you want to do a flex, that's perfectly fine as well. If you want to take some off, go ahead. If you want to add, go ahead. I would love to hear what you guys like, don't like, what you would rather add. And if you guys do play this, at me on X. I'll throw a giveaway or something if we cash. So go ahead and do that. Make sure you guys are joining the Discord. Make sure you guys are watching Garrett's videos as well. He is cashing. We've all been cashing. So make sure you guys are joining the Discord. It is completely free. We do not charge. And follow me on X as well for more plays, insight, and more. So I hope everyone has a great Thursday. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and let's have a day. See you guys on the next episode.